Happy belated birthday, Aubrey.
Thanks, Jessica. A little note for you guys. Be sure to hit follow because we have an upcoming episode about birthdays. And you often have to talk
Yes,
about your birthday on IELTS. You need to be ready.
exactly. Exactly, totally. So hit follow right now, guys, because on Friday we are going to be doing a birthday IELTS episode. But today we are doing some listening practice for you. Aubrey, why are episodes like today so important?
Yes, you guys need a lot of practice for the listening exam. You need strategies, but then you have to practice using those strategies with real
Yes.
IELTS practice. So we have created some practice here for you. We're going to read the audio. We're going to walk you through the strategies you need to be using so you're ready to get every question right on the listening exam.
Exactly. Today's episode is a super useful listening lesson, guys. And congratulations to Three Keys student Andrea, who got an 8.5 on listening. And that
Amazing.
was the first time she took the test, guys. So check out the course, allearsenglish.com/KEYS. But we are also giving you a little sneak peek into the Three Keys listening strategies today.
Exactly right. Andrea used these strategies to get that 8.5. So we're sharing them with you today, helping you see how to use them to practice so that you know how to use them on test day. It's not enough to know the strategies. You have to practice these skills in advance.
Exactly. It's like when people think that just listening to a lot of English improves their speaking. Have you ever run into students like that where you do like a mock speaking test with them and they don't sound super fluent, right? Lots of uhs and ums, and you're like, how are you practicing speaking? And the student
Absolutely.
says, I listen to so many podcasts. I'm like, well, that means you're practicing listening, but you're not practicing speaking. So the same goes here, guys. It's not enough just to hear us teach you these listening strategies. You have to apply them. You have to produce them and do them over and over again.
Yes, we have to work on these individual skills. The same thing happened to me when I was learning French. I could write an essay, I could read a novel, and then I tried to speak and listen to people in Belgium. Nothing. I couldn't understand anything. We have to practice each of these individual skills. They don't transfer, unfortunately.
Exactly. So let's get to this listening practice, guys. Aubrey chose today's topic. We're doing
Yes,
a
I did.
listening practice about sea turtles. Why did you choose this topic, Aubrey?
I'm obsessed. I just got back from Maui. Went snorkeling and saw so many giant sea turtles in the water. It was magical. And I hadn't even really I didn't know that was a possibility. I don't really research trips ahead of time, so I didn't know there would be sea turtles in the water. Oh, it was amazing.
That's so awesome. That's the benefit of not preparing, is that
That's
like
true.
you're just
Be
pleasantly
surprised.
surprised by everything.
Though the first
Um,
time I bumped into one, I thought it was a shark, and I thought I was gonna die.
oh my
Like,
God, that's
"Oh,
so scary.
just a sea turtle?"
Just a sea turtle. How did you confuse a sea turtle with a shark?
Well, I just didn't s there's you can't see anything, and it was at the surface, and so when I just bumped it and it's like
Right.
there's a
Yeah.
big marine animal right here, and
No,
you're looking
totally.
down when you're snorkeling at, like, the fish
And
and
it's
the
just
reef.
like this hovering presence.
Yes.
That's scary.
It was
That's
scary, but
terrifying.
once I knew it was a sea turtle, it immediately went from abject terror to like, "Oh, so sweet, a sea turtle."
Okay, that was great vocabulary. Instead of saying fear, right? The noun fear, say abject terror, right? Something that is
So good.
super, super scary. All right, guys. So let's get to this. First, we are going to read the questions because that's what you do on exam day, guys. You look at the questions first. The IELTS gives you time, right? You have some time to look at the questions. Aubrey, what should students be doing when they are looking at the listening questions?
Now you are going to underline keywords, words that will be necessary in the audio, right? And then you're going to be listening for those keywords or parallels, synonyms of those words as you hear the audio. And you're
Yep.
also going to make predictions as you
Yep.
read these questions.
Exactly. So these are two skills, guys, that you have to practice these, but we're going to show you what they look like now. So, Aubrey, can you read the first question?
Yes. So the first question is which of the following is an existing species of sea turtle? And then we have possible choices leatherhead, hawksbill, loggerback, or green ridley.
Those are all fun words.
Yeah.
So I would underline existing species, right? You don't have to underline sea turtle because That's the main topic. It's going to be everywhere. So underline existing species. That's what you're listening for. That's what you listen for to get the answer. And then just underline all those possible answers: leatherhead, hawksbill, loggerback, green ridley. The reason why we're underlining, even if they're one word possible answers, guys, you still underline them because this is part of being an active listener. You are engaging your brain with these possibilities. So your brain is warmed up. You are ready to understand when the answer comes. Okay.
Exactly. So when they start talking about existing species, you're going to be looking at these answers to match them against what you are hearing in the passage. And one of these you will hear,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, you might hear another one, but it could be
or
a
something
distractor,
similar.
right?
Oh, yeah,
All
maybe
right.
one that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
Exactly, like an extinct one,
Right,
totally.
right.
All right, so the next question is another multiple choice. We have one more after this, guys. 3 questions today. The next question is, which sea turtle species is not endangered? So we underline not endangered. Possible answer choices, we underline all of them: green, Kemp's Ridley, olive Ridley, flatback. Cool.
Yes, and when you're listening, you have to keep in mind these might be listed as species that are endangered, or there might be one that's not listed at all. And then that would be the answer for which one is not endangered. So this is a tricky when you get a tricky question like this.
Yes. And I would go ahead and make a prediction here
Mm,
that green turtle is not endangered. I'm just thinking about it, right? I'm being an active listener because if I think normal turtles, green turtles,
you've
right?
seen
Like
them
I've
recently,
seen them. They can't be
but that
endangered. I don't know.
there's a good point here that you know that because you are reading in English and going to maybe zoos or right, you are aware that green turtles, whereas if you're not, right, if you're not exposing yourself to English, you might only know what these turtles are called in your first language.
Exactly, exactly. And remember, guys, this question isn't about your own knowledge. This is only based on what you hear. So even if in my mind I'm like, well, of course the green turtle's not endangered, I'm circling that. If they don't say it in the listening, it's not the answer, right?
Right. Good point. Yes. And then
All
our
right.
final question is a fill in the blank. It is the blank is the only type of leathery shelled turtle. So you're definitely going to underline leathery shelled because
Mm.
that's what you're listening for is which turtle is this type.
And I would also underline only type,
Mm,
right? Because when we have words that refer to amounts, these are usually key words, right?
correct.
Anything about amounts, right?
Yes.
So if you hear like many types, for example, you know, okay, well the answer's not there. That's a
Right.
distractor, right? So again, we have to be smart while we're underlining to also be thinking about what we're underlining, making predictions. This is being an active listener, and that's how you get the answers on the IELTS exam. You're always thinking.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Aubrey, can you be the reader, the narrator
I
here?
would love to read this about sea turtles. All right, here we go. Sea turtles are reptiles with 7 existing species, including the flatback, green, hawksbill, leatherback, loggerhead, Kemp's ridley, and olive ridley. 6 of the 7 sea turtle species, all but the flatback, are present in US waters and are listed as endangered and or threatened under the Endangered Species Act. All but the flatback turtle are listed as threatened with extinction globally on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. The flatback turtle is found only in the waters of Australia, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia. Sea turtles can be categorized as hard shelled or leathery shelled. The only leathery shelled species of sea turtle is the leatherback.
Fascinating.
I
Guys,
know.
this is such good practice for IELTS listening part 4 because you have one person talking, it's a monologue, and
Mhm.
it's often about something, you know, academic-y or science-y, right? So
Yeah.
this is
If you're not
excellent.
interested in sea turtles, that might have been very boring for you, but you have to prepare.
Right, so also good practice either
Yes.
way. All right, so let's get to the answers. The first question was, which of the following is an existing species of sea turtle? And what was the answer, Aubrey?
Yeah, the answer is B, hawksbill. But this is very tricky because all of these distractors are very similar to the other ones that were named, right? We have a
Yeah.
leatherhead as an incorrect, leatherback is a correct species. So all of these, you're going to have to listen closely to catch which one is correct.
Yeah, we Aubrey wrote this question and she made it
Mhm.
very tricky. It's a good IELTS question, right?
Yeah,
Because the narrator says loggerhead and a possible distractor is loggerback. So again, guys, if you're not really focused, if you're not using our strategies, focusing on these keywords, using your pencil to track what they're saying, this would be so easy to get wrong.
exactly. Yes, let's move on to the next one. And I know we've said this before, but remember, as you're following along, if you miss that for whatever reason, you cannot get distracted by that. You're not going to hear the audio again. Just keep moving along so you can catch the next answer.
Totally, totally. So the next question was, which sea turtle species is not endangered? And the answer was flatback. So where in the text is that answer?
Yes, and it talks twice, really, in two separate
Mm,
sentences about endangered, but it does give you this answer twice. So this is one of those where if you weren't positive, keep listening. It says it again, right? We first hear six of the seven species, all but the flatback, are listed as endangered. And then again, all but the flatback turtle are listed as threatened with extinction.
And that phrase could be confusing also, all but the flat
Oh,
back.
that's true.
So that's a pretty high level comparison phrase there, right? All but something. It means everything except for this one, right?
Yeah, that is tricky, and IELTS does this. It's
Mhm.
unlikely that in the sentence it will be, the turtle species that is not endangered is flatback. Instead, it will
Totally.
be slightly different language like this, all
Exactly.
but the flatback species.
Exactly, exactly. So, as you're doing your listening practice, guys, make sure that you're always looking at the audio skip script or transcript after you do the listening, because you
Mm.
should be figuring out these distractors, looking at IELTS language, right? How do they paraphrase? How do they try and trick you? Because their style of tricks and language is repeated from exam to exam, right?
Yes, this is such a great strategy to work backwards, especially the answers you get incorrect. Why did you miss it? What distracted you? What happened? Because they will use these tricks over and over.
Exactly. All right. And the last question today, the blank is the only type of leathery shelled turtle. And this one was an easier one. The answer is leatherback. So the text basically says that, right? The only leathery shelled species of sea turtle is the leatherback. And I like this example question because there are some easy ones. Guys, they're not all trying to trick you. So if sometimes you might hear an answer, you're like, that was too easy. That can't be the answer. It can be,
It can
guys.
be.
They
It could
they
be just
will
that
make it
easy.
easy sometimes. Yes.
That's such
All
a good
right.
point. Yes, don't second guess yourself and change answers, right?
Right.
If you heard it, you got it right. Keep listening for the next question.
Exactly. Exactly. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this listening part 4 practice today. Make sure to hit follow right now because we're going to do a super fun birthday episode on Friday. All right.
Yes, and you need to be ready for those answers to talk about your birthday or someone else's. This comes up on IELTS a ton.
Totally. All right, Aubrey. I'll see you then.
Awesome. See you Friday. Bye.
Bye.